incredible transfer mistake by Ruben Amorim is what many people are saying now, whether it's ex-players, journalists, fans. It's on Amorim. It's Amorim's incredible transfer mistake. And I think we all know what that is. It's the midfield. I could read you 10 different sources from 10 different people saying what an incredible mistake it was that Manchester United didn't sign a midfielder, and Amorim is now having to take responsibility for that, because this is what will happen. It won't just be the Glazers or Ineos or anybody else who didn't buy the midfielder. It will ultimately fall on Amorim, because when the transfer window closes, there is no value in a newspaper or a radio station or a fan or an ex-player or the media saying, well, you know, it actually was the owners who didn't buy a midfielder. It will fall onto Amorim. So Amorim's incredible transfer mistake will become the headline. I think what is worth adding in, and I suspect some of you probably saw this update from Fabrizio Romano yesterday, is that you could flip that headline from Amorim's incredible transfer mistake, and you could say Amorim so close to perfect transfer. And that is where I sort of want to start the show today, because when you listen to what Romano said yesterday, and I completely get the point about how the window is shut, of course, but we didn't sell Bruno, and we could have sold Bruno. Are we going to stop talking about that? Like, this is still very, very relevant, because if the midfield is a weak area, which many of you think it is, then, you know, listen to this. Manchester United had several meetings to understand the situation of Sporting's Morten Ljungland. The deal wasn't possible because Sporting had already sold Gyökeres and didn't want to sell another important piece to their squad. When you add that to the Labour talks for 2 weeks, and when you add that to we tried to get Conor Gallagher on transfer deadline, as confirmed by Ben Jacobs and Fabrizio Romano, I would flip it and go, what transfer mistake did Ruben Amorim make? It will ultimately fall on his shoulders, but pray tell me, what mistake did he make? Ljungland, Baleba, Gallagher. Miss, miss, miss. If he gives them the arrows and the club miss on 3 targets, what, you know, Amorim supplied the ammunition. The club has missed. If we had updates from Fabrizio Romano saying it's interesting that the fans and many people in the media are saying that Manchester United need to sign a midfielder, but I can categorically tell you that Ruben Amorim and Jason Wilcox decided that it wasn't a priority this summer, then, you know, I think you've got to look at Wilcox and you've got to look at Amorim. But in the context of what we're seeing, unless I'm missing something completely here, we have very credible stories on 3 midfielders, of which we got none. Absolutely none. I think that what I'm trying to say is that instead of going for the negative headline of Amorim's incredible transfer mistake, maybe we should twist the news to Amorim so close to perfect transfer. Because when I saw that about Ljungland and what I know about Baleba and what you know about Baleba and what we know about Conor Gallagher, I mean, ultimately, it's just very frustrating. It's very frustrating indeed that we were so close to these deals, and for whatever reason, we couldn't get them done. And how you justify that in your head, I don't know. You tell me. I'll tell you how I justify it. I'm like, we tried for 3 midfielders, every single one of them different. Conor Gallagher is different to Ljungland, and Ljungland is different to Baleba. But we tried for 3 midfielders, of which I would have took any. I would have been happy with any of them. Today, I might not have been happy with Conor Gallagher in mid-June, but I would have been very happy with him at the end of August. So we went for 3 midfielders and we got none. And not only that, we didn't get a midfielder. So the way I look at it is, yeah, the transfer window's shut. Yes, we've got to get on with it. But it's not Amorim's mistake. It's the club's. And the scary thing is that quite clearly, we spent time this summer talking to multiple midfielders that we wanted to bring in, and we brought none. And, you know, I don't think I need to say anything further than that. You know, we tried to bring in midfielders all summer. We didn't bring one in. And I suppose the question has to be, is there a price to pay for that? We weren't willing to pay the price of a midfielder, but what will the price be for not getting a midfielder? Like, what are we going to do? And I think that is something that we're going to find out in the fullness of time, because it could be that, you know, it costs Manchester United Football Club money to sack and replace Amorim because the midfield isn't good enough. It could be that it costs Manchester United £100 million because we miss out on European football because we don't have a midfielder. There could be no price to pay. You know, Amorim might work miracles with the team that he's got, but it is immensely frustrating when it is 100% public knowledge that we wanted a midfielder and we didn't bring one in. And that's very, very disappointing.